anyways, here's something that somebody sent me. They're working on this microchip that will save your memory. Scientists set to implant device to preserve experiences into brains. A group of U.S. researchers believe that a microchip that will help create memories in damaged brains could be implemented into human volunteers in the next 2 years. The scientists from the University of Southern California, Wake Forest University, and others have been looking into the hippocampus, the part of the brain that is vital in forming long-term memories for around a decade. Okay, they've been doing this. So this is their way in. So these wonderful researchers at USC and Wake Forest, as always, their hearts are in the right place. But what kills me is it's like as they're creating this thing, I always wonder, do they sit around when they create something like this? And do they ever go, good Lord, what if this falls into the wrong hands? What if somebody like Dick Cheney or Donald Rumsfeld or any one of those other guys that looks like they don't even have a fucking heartbeat, what if it falls into their hands? What are they going to do with this shit? I'm telling you. We're all going to be, I might not be microchipped in my lifetime, but I will tell you this. At some point in my lifetime, and I figure they're going to do it through some sort of, like, they're going to scare the fuck out of people that their babies are going to get kidnapped. All right? And that what they're going to do is eventually they're going to pass a law that all babies born from this day on, for their own safety and their own protection, will be microchipped. All right? It's going to creep out a guy like me who isn't microchipped, but I'm going to die off. And then what's going to happen is just people from day one are going to have a microchip in them, and they're not going to question it. And occasionally, somebody will question it, and then they'll just be like, what are you, a fucking conspiracy theorist? Do you realize that if every human being was microchipped, do you realize the ability to revolt, how limited it is? If you ever were to be suddenly under an oppressive power, if everybody was microchipped, you know, and this is what kills me, is I know most of you are rolling your eyes going, this sounds like crazy talk. You know why? Because you would never do something like that. You know?
Microchipping. It says Revelation 13:17. It's called Mark of the Beast. Now, sorry for this click here. This is going to be loud. Block your ears. 3, 2, 1, click. What the fuck is it? I know I looked it up. Here we go. Revelation. This is the exact reason why I don't read the Bible. Library. Revelation 3:17. Let's see if I can get this here. The temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. The ark of God's testament is the Holy of Holies, the second apartment of the sanctuary. You already lost me, okay? Evidently, you can rent a room out in his church. He already has one other tenant. In the ministration of the early tabernacle, which served unto the example and shadow of heavenly things. This apartment was opened only by the great day of atonement for the cleansing of the sanctuary. Therefore, the announcement that the temple of God was opened. Oh, okay, well, there you go. So I guess that explains microchipping. Thank you, Bible. That really is the good book. I mean, I think I understand my computers more than I get the Bible. Why can't they just write it in fucking today's English? They do that with every other book of lies. No kidding. All right, I work for the microchip company in Wisconsin. Okay, some stick fuck offered my boss a TV show. What the fuck are they going to call it? How to shed your employees' rights? Thanks, asshole. Sorry, just venting. Love your stuff. Thank God for your gifts. You don't punch a clock for Satan. Well, neither do you. You just work for a company in Wisconsin. Quit the fucking job. Then what do I do? I don't know. Collect unemployment and not be microchipped? Come on, people. Don't give Delta Airlines your fingerprints. All right? Please don't do this, people. Please don't give into this. Don't go to Tiger Stadium and give them your fingerprints so you don't have to stand in line for a fucking pretzel. You fucking dope. And please don't be dumb enough to think, well, dude, my credit's fucked. Good luck if somebody steals my identity. Dummy. They're going to create a false credit report. All they need is the Lee Harvey Oswald to pin it on, which will be you and your fingerprints, you fucking dope. Yeah? You know, in the future, there's going to be a knock on the door, and they're going to question why you killed a hooker in the Ukraine. And you'll be like, I've never been there in my life. Oh, yeah? Your fingerprints were. Here's the story of a person who didn't kill a hooker. Now he's getting banged in the ass in the Ukraine because he left his fingerprints at the ballpark because he wanted a Coors Light. All right. Sorry.
India taking cash out of circulation. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know what's funny about the fucking New World Order? You know what makes me chuckle about it? Is it's completely, on paper, it's totally fucking necessary. I have come full circle. I understand why I'm going to be eliminated. So if anybody in a fucking hood, a cloaked hood or whatever, you know, if you're listening in while you're dripping fucking hot wax on a goddamn Maltese Falcon, whatever the fuck you're doing in your weird-ass little ritual, I don't need to be re-educated. I get it. Just get on with the killing. You know? I'm going to be the only guy going to a death camp by playing a banjo. You know, with a folk tune called I Get It. No, I seriously, you know, I was reading all this shit about, you know, how in the UN they're finally talking about the population problem. And a lot of people are coming up with this shit where they're just like, look, we got to get rid of 90% of the population, you know, and to do it in a way that, like, you know, doesn't make every other fucking genocide, like, look, what am I trying to say here? The only way you can fucking do that. What am I trying to fucking say here? Jesus Christ. Okay, so they go, all right, if everybody just has one kid from here on out, we can get the population down to like 3.5 billion by 2075. But the problem is like most things, we just treated it like a term paper. It's too fucking late. So you got other people like going, no, we got to fucking, you know, you got the other people, they're acting like, you know, the host of that Hoarder show where they're just like, throw it all out. It's all shit, right? I think that's what they're going to do. So I guess if you want to survive, what you have to do is you got to up what you bring into the game. You know, because if you're like me and you're kind of like the human equivalent to a stack of newspapers with a dead cat underneath it, you know, you're going to be out. You're going to be out the fucking window, right? I wonder if they're going to let you choose how you want to die. How would you do it? You know, what do I do? You know what I would like? I would like to fucking be on some sort of bungee cord that goes fucking, instead of up and down, it goes side to side. And I just swing on it. They bring me back like a giant slingshot. And just get shot into that giant TV at Cowboys game during like a Monday Night Football game. You know, knowing that I'm going to die, but I set it up like it's going to be this stunt where I'm going to go over it. You know, and I just horrify some kids. That'll be like my last thing as I bounce off that turf right next to Tony Romo. I'm sorry, people. I've been alone all fucking week. This is the shit I'm thinking about. This is the Monday Morning Podcast, everybody. This is the uplifting MMP talking about eliminating 90% of the people, the world's population, as you sit there eating a fucking eclair. Huh? Who had one already? Who already had a fucking eclair this week? Huh? Who? Honey? Why? Have you eaten eclairs? Who eats a fucking eclair? You know what I mean? With that fucking goddamn jizz in the middle of it. I mean, if like it wasn't disgusting enough, you got to get like a donut facial. That's got to be like one of the, you know, like the low points when you just have like total like just self-hatred. I would think as a fat person, if you just bought a dozen eclairs, when you're polishing off like the 8th or 9th one, if you had a big fuzzy beard, it's all in your mustache, and you look like you're in some donut bukkake movie. You just got to be like, well, what happened? You know, I used to climb trees. I used to do cartwheels.
I can't wait to get to this fucking thing later on in this podcast where this guy is trying to claim that the Earth can sustain 100 billion people. I really cannot. I cannot wait. I just glanced at it and looked at it, and it's just, I just. How the fuck you arrived at that number? And I actually tried to find shit. I started looking up how many fucking people the Earth can sustain, And what I immediately found was that nobody could say for certain, but the numbers estimated we're nowhere near 100 million fucking people. 100 billion, sorry. So I cannot wait to read this guy somehow claiming that there's enough farmland to feed 100 fucking billion people. I don't know. Okay, do we stack each other on top of one another? And even then, do elephants get to roam free anymore? Where are all the fucking animals? If there was 100 billion people on the planet, I would think that cannibalism would slowly start to become legal. They would have, they'd have farm people or stock people. That's what they call them, and they would be simply be used for food. You know, we just, you know, and of course it would be, you know, the evil white man would decide who it is that gets eaten first. You know, maybe they'd start with like the pygmies or something like that, because it'd be like, all right, well, you know, they are of a particular race, but they're not as tall as most people in that race. So, you know, they're sort of bite-sized. They're like sliders, right? Sliders. They're like human sliders. You know, get a little honey bun, you know, stick a fucking ankle between the two, right? Why would you eat an ankle? Ankle meat? All right. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This is the one I wanted to read. This is amazing. Overpopulation myth. Bill, how you're doing? And I'm just checking in on you. To inform you that if you go online and see for yourself how much arable, A-R-A-B-L-E, farmland and resources there actually is in the world, you'll see that there is enough to feed and home at least 100 billion people for a provable fact. I don't know. That sentence didn't make sense. Did you like voice text this? Or did you actually, this is how you actually type out sentences. Person goes, so anytime you hear anyone say that 7 billion people is too many people, they're, T-H-E-I-R, either seriously misinformed and or too lazy to do some research, or flat out lying through their teeth like our so-called leaders and scientists must be. Oh yeah, they got to be lying because you can't even spell "their" right. Because within 1 to 2 days of research, you can find studies that prove what I say. It's going to take me 1 to 2 days to find it on the internet? This is fucking hilarious. 1 to 2 days to research, you can find studies that prove what I say is true. Parentheses, at least 100 billion. Now, I know you're in the business of waking the masses up, just like the late, great Bill Hicks. No, I'm not. But do you realize how serious the situation is regarding the distraction and brainwashing as organized by big business and their controlling family owners? So as great as I think you and your comedy are, mentioning overpopulation, which is a complete myth, is doing them, parentheses, big corporations and the cunts who own them, a big service in adding to the brainwashing. Anyway, Bill, I know you're a great man because of the subjects you talk about during your shows, but please look for yourself at how much arable farmland there is and consider the fact that all food grows completely for free. Wow. All right, well, I'll tell you this, buddy. I know I'm a moron, so I just looked up. I looked at how many people can the Earth sustain. And it says, how many people can the Earth support? So 10 billion people is the utmost population limit where food is concerned. That's the first one. The next one says more than 7 billion people currently on the planet, compared to 3 billion in 1967. That one doesn't say. I'll just, well, that's a video. I don't want to watch that. Current population is 3 times the sustainable level. That's the next article. How many people can the Earth sustain? I'll click on this one. I'm trying to find anything that says anything even remotely close to 100 billion. Here's a staggering stat. According to the United Nations, the world's current population is 7.2 billion. It's now up to 7.8. It's projected to increase by 1 billion over the next 12 years, which would bring us to 9.6 billion by 2050. How can we sustain all these people on the planet? Or rather, how many people can this planet sustain? That is the question Alan Weissman explored in his latest book, Countdown, Our Last Best Hope for a Future on Earth, question mark. Jesus Christ, a bunch of conversations. Bunch of words. How about a number? Where's the fucking number? All right, he has the chart of how it's going to. In the next 50 years, we will need to produce as much food as has ever been consumed for an entire human history. Well, that makes sense because there'll be the most people. There'll be the most farts ever in the history of human beings. I don't know, there's no fucking number there. Sir, all I can tell you is if you see the environmental damage that 7.8 billion people did, if you're going to have 100 billion people, like, I mean, at this point in Africa, there's barely any land for wild animals. It's all like, for the most part, down in the southern part of the country, it's all like roped off. It's finite, you know what I mean? They're completely surrounded. I'd have to say that I disagree, and not just by your spelling, because I couldn't read half the fucking words you said even when you spelt them right. But yeah, no, there's no fucking way 100 billion people. And there's any sort of animal life left that isn't stuck in a cage. You know what I mean? And also, in this last year, I traveled to Singapore, Hong Kong, and Mumbai, India, and I saw what that next level of population looked like, dude, and I was breathing that air. Not Singapore. Singapore was different. But Hong Kong and Mumbai, India, you could almost taste the fucking air, and it was just way too many fucking people. I can tell you that. There's no way 100 billion people. And I don't understand why I need to look it up for 1 to 2 days. Why couldn't you just send me a link? I would love for you to be right, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're not. I'm going to go with the scientists on this one. And also, this also sounds like, you know, when people denied global warming. Not to get all political, but one political party adamantly denied it for years and years and years, and now they've decades, and now they finally just go, yeah, we are causing climate change, but you know what? It's too late now. So I imagine that's what we're going to do. Out here, we have a fucking methane gas leak that's been going on, and I guess it's like 10 times worse than carbon dioxide as far as getting put into the fucking atmosphere, as far as heating it up and all that. We're completely fucked. We're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. And selfishly, I hope it doesn't happen by the end of my own life, which is the exact sort of thought process that got us into this mess to begin with. But, sir, you're correct in assuming that I'm a fucking dope, and I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm just kind of going with having traveled extensively, you know, for the last 20 years on the road and watching the population increase just in this country. It's a weird thing when the population it keeps looking like it's sort of leveled off. And I don't know if because there's no factories anymore. All I know is like it used to be back in the day, if I jumped on the highway at 2 in the afternoon, I was good. And now everywhere I go, there's like traffic. And I'm just looking at these people going like, are you guys all stand-up comics? Does everybody work the third shift? How the fuck are all these people out on the road? I don't even know what's going on. Do a lot of people work from home and they're all driving out to get a sandwich at that time? I don't know. You know what? Let me look up. I heard the U.S. population has kind of leveled off, which has excited me. That's exciting to me, you know. U.S. population. Oh, Jesus Christ, Bill, can you fucking population by year? Let's do this. All right, let's see what we got here. U.S. population by year. Right. Let's go back to 1997. There was 2.7265 million. And now there's 322.07 million. So it's gone up by like 50 million. Is that enough to notice? Well, that's actually, you know, that's significant, right? That's like a 20% increase. I think I'm making some points. Anyways, I forgot to tell you guys this shit. I almost forgot this fucking story. So I've been trying to work out when I've been here. 2 out of 3 days I've worked out, right? So I go to the gym the first day. It's right down the street from my apartment. There's no fucking problems. I walk in. The guy behind the counter is cool. There's nobody else there. No manager, just some cool guy. He goes, hey, by the way, it's $15, but if you go on the internet and you look this shit up, it only costs you $5. I said, dude, I'm old. I suck at the internet. Okay, just generally speaking, I'm not good at it. He goes, I'm just saying, you know, it's money. I was like, all right, man, I'll try to find the fucking page and I'll come back the next day. I'll only pay $5. So he goes, cool. No problems. No fucking problems. I have a great workout. I fucking throw the weights around. Classic shit. Comedian, I go to the gym in the middle of the day. It's great. There's nobody fucking there. Okay? A couple of trophy wives on treadmills, you know, fucking looking at their Instagram as they walk fucking half a mile an hour. And then you come walking in, and I don't give a fuck what time of day you walk into a gym. If you have to do chest that day, all the benches are going to be taken up. You know what I mean? Nobody's ever doing squats. You can walk into a gym Saturday. Fucking Saturday, like what's it busy? Like early in the morning when people come in, whatever, 9 a.m., whatever, fucking the busiest time, right after work. 6 o'clock at night. Okay, you can go walk into a gym and you can just immediately just start doing squats. Nobody does fucking legs. Everybody does the bench. So I walk in there, there's 5 people. They have 3 benches. There's like 5 people working out. 3 of them are guys fucking bench pressing. Goddamn cunt. So I got to sit there and pretend like I'm fucking really stretching. I'm not really stretching. I'm waiting for you to finish. Right? So anyways, that was the first day. So the second day I go back and I'm like, all right, here we go. You know, I'm going to run into this guy again. He's going to say, how come you didn't get the fucking thing that only makes you pay $5? I'm going to be like, because I suck at the internet. Remember? I'll pay 15. I don't give a fuck. Right? And I come showing up. He's not there. There's some lady there, and then this fucking manager buzzing around. Hey, how long are you in town for? Would you like to get a membership? Blah, blah. I said, no, dude, I just want to work out today. He goes, all right, fill out this form. So it's name, address, phone number, email, all of this shit. So I write down a fake name, and I say I'm from Alaska, and that's it, right? So he goes, no, I'm sorry, sir. You got to fill out the rest of this, where all the address is. Now, all I had to do was just fill out a fucking fake address, but, you know, it's not how I'm wired. I got to make a point. I go, dude, I have to give you my home address? He goes, yes. I go, dude, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I'm not going to give you my home address. I'm not going to tell you where I live so I can work out one day at a gym. And he goes, well, you know, you have to fill it out. I go, why? Why do you need to know where I live? And he hems and haws, and I just keep going, why do you need to know where I live? Okay, it's $15 to work out. I have the $15. I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to work out at the gym. Why do you need to know where I live? So finally he goes, well, sir, you know, God forbid if you have some sort of incident happens and we need to get in contact with somebody. I said, so you're telling me that God forbid, to use your expression, God forbid I keel over on the elliptical. You're not gonna dial 911. You're gonna go drive to my house and knock on the door and hope somebody's there. That's what you're gonna do. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna call 911 like everybody else. And he just keeps going, oh, you know, who are we gonna contact? It's like, what the fuck do you care? Who to contact? You know, I just said, look, if you can tell me why I need to put down my home address, I'll write it down. But other than that, I'll give you a phone number, somebody to call if something happens to me. But don't call them. They're not a doctor. Call 911. Tell you what, yeah, that's the deal. Call 911, and here's a number, you know, if you want to let my wife know where the hell I'm going. That's it. You don't need to know where I live. So the guy finally goes, well, you have to fill it out. And I go, why? And he goes, it's protocol. And I go, exactly. You cannot logically defend why you want my home address. You're getting my home address so the people in corporate will have that information. They can sell it to other people. Right? So I go, I'm not working out here, right? So I go to walk away. And then the lady behind the desk, she goes, have a nice day, sir. I don't say anything, keep walking to the elevator. She goes, have a nice day, sir. And I turn around, I go, I understand sarcasm. You're not telling me to have a nice day. You're telling me to go F myself. I got in the elevator. I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, why don't you just you write a fake address? That's what I fuck. You know why? Because at some point there's got to be some sort of pushback. Somebody has to fucking complain about this shit. When you walk into those places and they go, do you have an ID? Don't ever hand them your ID. You hold it. And just say, hey, I'll hold it right up to your fucking face. You want to read it? Go ahead and read it. But you're not typing in shit from my ID onto your fucking computer. Every time you put down my name and my address, you've added another layer where I am vulnerable to identity theft. And I'm not going to do that just to go work out at a fucking gym. I'm not having a kidney transplant, you cunt. I'm going to go do some fucking pull-ups. Give you all my fucking information. I don't know, you guys probably think I'm a psycho, right? I'm not. I'm right. I'm right on this one. I'm wrong about a lot of other shit. Whatever. This is stupid. Me just sitting here telling you that I'm right. Oh, really, Bill? Do you agree with yourself? That's amazing.
Somebody sent me a picture the other day. This guy had a pickup truck, and on the back he had all this shit. Anti-Obama. Obama, is that how you say his name? Obama. And at one point he had this. This is what fascinates me about people who are straight up Democrat or straight up Republican. It reminds me of people who are into like fucking organized religion, just like the blinders that they have on. This is the bumper sticker this guy had. It said, recession, your neighbor loses his job. Depression, you lose your job. recovery, Obama loses his job. You know? And it's just like, those fucking people, it's like, how do you not see that they all kind of do the same thing? And they're all on their knees blowing the same fucking, I mean, don't you see, okay, Clinton, Democrat, liberal, right? Bleeding heart liberal. What does he do? The bleeding heart liberal. He's for the fucking everyday Joe. He's just going to give it away to the broke people. What does he do? He helps deregulate the banks. All right? George Bush comes in, right? He wants to help out fucking major corporations and all that type of shit. Doesn't give them one war, he gives them 2 wars. $1 billion a fucking month or whatever the hell it is going into those fucking cunts' pockets. Goddamn, the combination of those 2 fucking moves, the deregulation of banks, trying to fight 2 fucking wars, 2 away games, by the way, on the other side of the fucking planet, bankrupts this goddamn country. Obama comes in, right? Bleeding heart fucking liberal. What the fuck does he do? Gets us out of Iraq and then escalates the shit in Afghanistan. Has he taken any of these bankers to task? They stole $1 trillion. They can't even say where the fuck it is or who got it. Is he going after those people? No, they're not. It's the same fucking people, which is why I resent people when they tell me when I vote for a Ron Paul or anybody else, you know, like of that ilk, who's saying that these bankers and these corporations are completely out of fucking control. And we need to audit the Federal Reserve or maybe even close, shut the fucking thing down. And they're not allowed to debate, and they're just considered a crazy person. And then you go out there and you basically make a decision between the 2 fucking guys that they're giving you to vote for. That you feel like, oh, we made these choices. You didn't. You didn't. It's all the same fucking guy. How you didn't figure that out in 2004 when your choice was 2 white guys who both went to Yale, who were both a member of that fucking group, the Skulls or whatever. It was the same fucking guy. And I love how the fucking Democrats somehow get away with being like, they're all like millionaires. Like John Kerry was a fucking goddamn millionaire. Somehow he's going to be a man of the people. I don't fucking know. I think at a lower level, I think you can actually affect change in political office. But I think once you go past a certain level, I think even when you get to like, if you were like a senator of your state, I just don't feel that, I don't know. I think Obama said a bunch of shit that he was going to do, got into office, saw how shit worked, and right now he's trying to prevent getting shot in the fucking head like everybody else who gets that job, and you just do what they want you to do. That's my fucking 2 cents. But these fucking morons who will come along and just sit there and blame the current president, if they're not a member of their party, it's just beyond me. It's just fucking beyond me. Like I don't know. But like I said, I feel like I've talked about that enough on this fucking podcast. People are still coming at me, not understanding what I'm saying about these automated checkout machines at the grocery stores. Once again, this guy writes me like a 5-page fucking email talking about pulleys and levers and inventions from back in time, like I'm against fucking progress. And he's comparing all of this, like I'm sitting there going, fuck airplanes, we should be back riding horses. What about all the blacksmiths who got put out of business? I'm not talking about that. I don't want to ride a horse to a gig in fucking Philly. I don't want to do that. I love airplanes. I don't have a problem with that shit. I'm not talking about progress. I'm talking about something that makes me have to work for somebody for free. That's what I'm saying. All right? If they came out with those automated checkout machines and it got rid of people's fucking jobs, but I walked up there and it was like this thing that just magically could tell me what I fucking owed without me having to do the actual fucking job that the other person was just doing, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But those fucking all they did was turn the cash register around. And now I have to do it and bag my own shit. How the fuck is that progress? Somebody else was trying to tell me that it's all part of this movement
it was really a spiritual thing, so that we'll have all these robots, man, and they'll be doing all these jobs, and then life will just be all about, just exploring life, because you won't have to do a fucking job. It's just like, dude, you're completely ignoring sociopaths. All right? Which is why, like, when as much as I lean left, I don't go all the way to the left, because that's the big flaw in psycho level of liberal thought, is you completely ignore sociopaths. If everybody was just nice to everybody, everything would be nice. No, it wouldn't. There'd still be Charlie Manson. There'd still be those guys. There'd still be that guy who couldn't handle not fucking having more than somebody else. Or the person who can't feel anything unless he's fucking poking the eyes of a squirrel out. So I don't know. My theory has always been that fucking hasn't always been that way. Just through the fucked up shit that I've read, and God knows if it's even right, is that sociopaths basically run the fucking world. They have the balls to just go out and take, and they have the I don't know if it's a chemical makeup, psychological makeup, whatever it is, to feel absolutely no fucking guilt. They could give a fuck about other human beings. They could give a fuck about nature. They could give a fuck. They could give a fuck. So, Jesus Christ, I'm so on my goddamn soapbox. I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about. Oh, getting back to that shit. So that is my I don't have a problem with ATMs. Okay? ATMs, I basically became my own fucking teller, but here's the big difference, is I then had access to my money 24/7. You gave me a little something. I don't have a fucking problem with that. But I walk into a grocery store, and now I'm standing behind a fucking plumber trying to scan a week's worth of goddamn groceries. It's not quicker. It sucks. Fuck you. Okay, stop sending me fucking emails about pulleys and levers. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, it's better the wheel. He's fucking 40 BC. Ugh. I'm not working for fucking free. I'm not doing that. Those goddamn automated things there when you go into a parking garage. Now I got to stand in 2 fucking lines. I got to stand behind somebody as they try to stuff their crinkled up dollar bill in trying to pay for their parking. And then I got to drive, then I drive down waiting to leave, and they don't get to just fucking leave because they got to make sure they paid. All you did was create an extra line, and you eliminated the fucking parking garage guy. And now I got to sit there and wait for the person to, where the fuck did I put the ticket that said I paid? Twice as goddamn long. That's what I'm talking about, pulley and lever guy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about inventions that do not make my life easier. They just make me work for fucking free. And the time that I spend in the store is not any shorter, and a lot of times it's a little bit fucking longer. That's what I'm talking about, sir.
But, I don't apologize to the guy at the bank. I owe taxes, right? I owe taxes up in fucking Canada. So my accountant goes, you have to go to the bank. I'm going to send you an email with all the fucking account information. They can wire it up there. Bing, bang, boom, done. So I say, fine. So I go up, I download the thing, I bring my laptop, I fucking get this David Blaine looking dude, at the bank to help me out, right? So we walk into his cubicle area, we sit down, I have all the information on the computer screen. He starts going, read me the VIN number. I know it's not that, but you know what I mean. And I'm like, what number? He's like, that number there, read that to me. So I read it to him, he goes, all right, read me the next number. I go, which number? He goes, read me that number. And then I just finally look at him, I go, what do I work here? He's like, excuse me? I go, I feel like I work here right now. I'm like, look, just turn it around. Here's all the information. Type it in. And he goes, well, it's going to go quicker. Or something like that. And then he just kind of got quiet, right? I'm just fucking sitting there. And then after a couple minutes, he just kind of goes like, I don't understand, like, why you got upset there. I go, well, I'm not upset. I'm just calling you out on the fact you start treating me like your secretary. I don't work here. He goes, I'm not treating you like your secretary. I go, yeah, you are. You got me, like, reading off numbers and stuff. He goes, I'm just doing that because it'll be faster. And I go, well, I disagree. Well, what the fuck am I? You understand? You work at the bank. You're at the bank. You work at the bank. You get paid to work at the fucking bank. I'm the customer. This is what I need you to do. Do the fucking transaction. Jesus fucking Christ. These fucking goddamn, I'm going to say it, these kids today, everything about them is it's interactive. Hey, man, like, hey, fucking reach out through the fucking interweb, man. Fuck off and do your job. But I didn't say any of that. I just said I disagree. That's the best I could do. But I just couldn't believe he was like, but see, What kills me is he's walking around saying that I'm a dick, which I am. I admit to that, but I'm fucking right. I got to sit there and read off fucking numbers to you? He goes, can you read this? He didn't even say please. He starts talking to me like I'm like I was like, did I just get hired as your assistant, you fucking cunt? I didn't even know what he was talking about, all of those numbers. I'm not a fucking banker. Every time he told me to read off the number, he had to explain what the number is. Like, how is that quicker? Oh, Jesus. So I meditated for the first time in about 6 weeks. I'm just trying, yeah, I know. To the guy at the bank, maybe I could have explained it a little nicer. Maybe I could have just flipped out here, but, know this. That's what I wanted to say in the bank, but I didn't, okay? I just fucking kept my cool, but like, you work at the bank, I don't. I need you to do this transaction. I have money in your bank. Back in the day, you guys used to give like 10%, 8% on fucking money in the bank. You now give like 0.0001%. Okay? So now you don't give me any money on it. You've loaned 10 times out on what I fucking have there. You guys invent money. You're literally counterfeiters. And now I have to go in there. You guys nuke the fucking economy every 8 fucking years, building housing bubbles or whatever, and you don't go to jail for it, and you leave Americans upside down in their houses, and you don't give a fuck. And then on top of that, I gotta go in and read the fucking numbers off to you? Fuck off. I know this is childish for me to be sitting here alone, losing my mind, but I cannot lie to you and not tell you how fucking good this feels to get this out of me. Part of my meditation today is I'm actually doing this series on patience. Swear to God. And the guy said, oh God, what the fuck did he say? It almost made me mad when I was like, I wanted to debate with the guy, but I can't because it's just a recording. He basically said that when you lose your patience, it's because you have expectations of other people. Okay? And then when you react to that, it's like your fault for reacting to it. For having, you're wrong to have these expectations of people. And I'm thinking in my head, like that doesn't make it, I'm, at this point, I'm wrong that I expect people to put in an effort at their job the way that I do. And the way that I did. And I'm not patting myself on the back, but when I always, any job I had, I fucking killed it. Unless I just literally didn't have the talent, like construction. I could bring you the shit. I just didn't have that gift. Or I tried to sell health insurance. I just wasn't good at it. And you know what I did? I had the decency with both of those jobs to quit within a week and a half. I didn't fucking sit there and torture people and just suck at my job as they came walking in, or worse, try to make them do part of my job. So I'm listening to this guy, and he's talking in a very soothing voice like this, some sort of British accent. When we walk in there, it's Headspace. Hello again, welcome to Headspace. When we have expectations of other people, gives us a tendency to, he tries to lose our patience. Like, don't get all fucking jolly, because you know what it is? He's doing that because he knows there's an angry cunt like me laying on the ground going, like, okay, so now you're defending this guy at the bank? You weren't even fucking there, So now basically what you're saying is, in order for me to have patience, I have to basically treat people the way I treat my daughter, which is, I understand that she's a baby and doesn't know anything yet, So I have to have 100% patience with her, which I do. But that's because she's a baby. So now I'm supposed to walk in and sit across from a 27-year-old guy in his, you're going to like the way you look, I guarantee it, fucking suit. And as he tells me to do, how could I have done that better? I guess what I should have said is, sir, I don't mean any disrespect, but I'm not going to read those numbers to you. I feel that you work at the bank and I am the customer, and I feel that that crosses a boundary that I'm not comfortable with. Well, I guess I could have said that, right? And when he exhaled, I probably should, when he exhaled, it was like someone fucking twisted a knife in my back. I wanted to fucking, did you just fucking exhale? Yeah, because once again, I guess I had expectations that this guy, I had the ability to fucking look at a paper with all the answers to the test on it while typing at the same time. I mean, I can do that. I could do that for half a page, and I'll only make a couple of mistakes, and I taught myself how to do it. What the fuck? How much more easier does life have to be? And then, I was also thinking when I left, it was like, something? My wife would have just read the numbers off to him. She would have read the numbers off to him, and then afterwards, I would have said, like, why did you just do that? You did your job. She goes, well, you're right. You're right. I probably shouldn't have done that. But, it got it done quick. I just didn't want to have the argument, blah, blah, blah. She continues on. And she's a way, way happier person. On paper, I think. On paper. I don't know, something, the thing about women is the big red flag is the level of shopping that they do and the amount of shit that they buy. Like, that's, I don't know. There's a fucking unhappiness there. There's something psychotic going on with just the sheer amount of clothes and shit that they buy and just stuff that they fucking buy. I don't see tranquility in it. I feel like that's like eating fucking, C's candies. They just love having that UPS driver showing up and, oh, it's a little package for me, I actually judge how well my relationship's going by how often the fucking UPS driver comes to the door. If he's coming a lot, then I need to take her out to dinner or something. If, he's coming every once in a while, then that's just her doing the woman thing of basically, fucking kicking our retirement right in the seats. All right, I didn't need to go. Okay, whatever. I apologize to everybody. I apologize to that first guy at the fucking Verizon store. I apologize for the way I conveyed what I was trying to say to the David Blaine looking dude at the bank. I don't know. Maybe it's a new world. Maybe I'm just a fucking old guy. Maybe that's why I don't fucking know. I don't know. I still think I'm right. But I'm going to learn in the future not to have expectations of people and just sit there as the sands of my life slip away, waiting for somebody to do their fucking job that they got paid to do.
Ever since I got back from Canada, oh, Canada, you bunch of freezing cunts, I just got back from there, and I kind of realized that when I go on the road with the fellas, we act like we're on some sort of bachelor party. I don't know what it is, minus the fucking who is. Everything else, we basically, we booze and we smoke cigars and that thing, and it's just, it takes a lot out of me. And I got a bunch of shit I got to do, so I kind of need to be clear-headed as opposed to the usual. Usually when I got nothing going on in my life, I mean, I can fucking, I can have a few, right? I can wake up the next morning like, oh, geez, I can get some fucking eggs or something, right? I can be in that mindset, but as of right now, I can't. So I have not done anything. I haven't done shit. I haven't drank. I haven't smoked. I'm eating pretty good. Even laying off the internet porn. I mean, it's just fucking over. I actually got this Time magazine that was about internet porn and how it's like fucking people up, especially like kids, when they first, like, just the shit. Who's kidding who? The shit you can see on the fucking internet. I can't believe nobody stepped in. I'm not saying somebody should step in, but, I got to tell you, if they knew what the fuck the internet was going to be whenever Al Gore was inventing it back in the 80s, I never said that. I said that I was involved in the email chain, whatever the fuck he said. That fucking guy. Remember when his campaign was over? Remember when he was dancing around and all sweaty and all that shit? He just looked like he was so fucking relieved that it was over. What a thing to go through. Running for president. I just saw a clip of Hillary Clinton. I have not been paying attention at all, but Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened to her? She looks like Earl fucking Weaver. She looks like Earl Weaver. She was doing something, right? She was standing in some black church, right? Baptist church, I'm going to assume. I don't think it was a Jewish synagogue there, whatever the fuck temple. She's in this green suit. She's just like yelling, the shit she was going to do. That's the only time a politician goes near the black community is when they're running. They swing by the church, they make a whole bunch of promises, and then they get in the fucking limo and they go, let's get the fuck out of here, right? Fuck out of Dodge. And then they go over, they do a town meeting, talk to all the lunch pail Louis, right? If there's even those people left in this country, if you fucking make anything, they get over there and they roll up their sleeves. That's when they're talking to the working man. They take off their sport coat and they roll up their sleeves.
You know, like they're going to build something rather than just go out there and say the exact same bullshit they just said in the Baptist church with more of a fucking lunch pail swing to it, right? And the whole fucking thing is just gross. I don't know how anybody sits there and watch that shit, but the latest thing that I've become fascinated with is I completely leave whatever the fuck I was just talking about. I'll come back to it, the clean living thing. Who wants to listen about clean living? It's the most boring shit ever. You know? Anyways, I've become fascinated with how super rich people avoid paying taxes. It's just fucking fascinating. It's one of those things, you know, it's like you got to respect it on a certain level. It's the brilliance of it. And then there's a certain level of balls that takes because you're fucking with your freedom. Anytime you're fucking with taxes, you know what I mean? Fucking with the government, anytime you're doing that, I mean, you know, what is that? I don't know what the fuck. Is that a federal thing? I guess if you're not paying your federal income tax, yeah, Bill, that would probably be a federal crime. I don't know. I always say you got to cross state borders. Do you have to, like, not pay taxes and then leave your state before it becomes federal? I don't know. I don't know these things. But anyways, just the balls that it takes and the, I don't know. I don't like people physically hurting other people, that type of crime. But when there's something like robbing banks or tax evasion or even a good old-fashioned fucking scam, if there's like an amazing level of thought behind it, on some level you got to respect it, I think. You know what I mean? Like, I remember a long time ago, there was some fucking guy, he figured out how to rob parking meters. And they were, allegedly, it was impossible to do. So this guy figured out how to fucking do it. It's amazing. And he did this shit. This is back in like the 80s or some shit. This guy figured out how to do it. So it was way, way, way easier to not have everybody breathing down your fucking throat. You know, people be having eggs watching you fucking robbing a parking meter. They didn't have a fucking smartphone on them. They just be sitting there going, look at this fucking guy just, is that guy robbing a parking meter? Holy shit, the fucking guy got his fucking parking. Did you see that? Anybody see that? That was it. That's all that fucking happened. Rather than some douche sitting there filming you and you're arrested before you even get home. Right? And then the fucking local newscasters, they always got to do some sort of fucking bad pun. You know what I mean? I'll tell you, this guy's life, his freedom is now going to change. You know, they do that. Somehow they get away with that in like fucking newspapers. Like they can have the biggest fucking puns ever and everybody thinks it's great. You know? I don't know. I can't even think of one right now, man. But whatever. You sit at home and you think about it. You sit at your fucking cubicle instead of doing your goddamn work. You think of one. So anyways, this fucking guy figured out how to do this shit. And of course, the parking meter guards were beside themselves. You know what I mean? It was like one of those sci-fi movies. Or like the Titanic movie. Like, not even God can sink it. That's what they were like. Not even God could get the fucking quarters out of this meter. This meter, right? They were talking all kinds of shit. So this fucking guy figured out how to do it. And you're thinking like, all right, whatever, man. What the fuck are you going to do with that? Well, dude, there's fucking meters all over the city. So this guy, anytime he wanted a drink, if he wanted a fucking sandwich, he had it perfect. It was like his own ATM machine before ATM machines. He'd just walk up, bing, bang, boom. He had a sack of fucking quarters. You go down to the bank. You go, hey, can I get one of those other roly fucking things there? Right? Yeah, sure. They don't give a shit. Nobody gave a fuck back then. Nobody was paying attention. They were trying to pay attention, but not to that type of shit. So this guy would roll the fucking quarters. You know? Rolls enough quarters. Next thing you know, he gets himself out. How the fuck would you get all those quarters down to a car dealership? I have no fucking idea. Although I talked to some drug dealers about how they fucking, or a guy who knew drug dealers, let's be honest here, Bill. Let's not act like that news guy saying that you were in the war and then you were in a chopper or some shit next to the chopper and you didn't really fucking see it. Okay, you took a fucking helicopter tour one time. You weren't even in Iraq. Whatever the fuck he said. I don't pay attention to shit. So anyways, I was talking to this guy and basically how back in the day when drug dealers were still driving around in flashy cars, because from what I heard nowadays, they don't even want to attract that level of attention. How it used to be was any cash deal that was over 10 grand had to be fucking reported. So what these drug dealers would do was they would go out and they'd buy a car worth 9 grand for cash, and then they'd drive it around for like a fucking week, and then they'd trade it in for a car worth 16 grand. Maybe get 7 for theirs, and then they'd throw another fucking 9 at the other car. Now they got a $16,000 car. You drive around for a little bit, you fucking trade it in on a $23,000 car.
They give you fifth, whatever, and so on and so forth. Until you trade your way all the way up to whatever fucking car you wanted. I just look at that shit. It's like, I mean, that's not the deepest thing, but that's the way my brain would work. I'd be like, well, I guess I got to drive a piece of shit then. What's the point of dealing drugs? Right? Or I'd just say, fuck it. I'm buying a Ferrari, and I'm going to drive it until they catch me fucking 3 weeks later. By the way, the Ferrari I like is the Ferrari California. That's the old man one. The fucking GT, the Grand Touring one, right? I don't need to ride around in some Batmobile. Just give me one that's shaped like a fucking Jaguar from back in the day, you know? Or maybe a Toyota Supra. Remember those fucking things from the 80s? I remember this guy loaned me his. Well, he used my truck to move, and I ran and I beat the shit out of his car, and he beat the fuck out of my truck, and we both got our cars back, and he's smelling rubber, and I'm seeing all kinds of scratches all over my truck, and we just, it's kind of a fair deal, right? And then we both got arrested for drinking and driving months later. But that's a completely different story. I know, I'm all over the map. I'm doing this late night, and I don't want to be doing it right now, but I got shit to do in the morning. So anyways, this fucking guy, you know, if he had half a fucking brain, what you do is you keep your day job, right? You keep your fucking day job, and then, you know, for anything miscellaneous, you just go to the parking meters, right? And what you do is you start storing up on the quarters. Then every once in a while, right, you start washing the money with your fucking cat. I know what you do. You fucking, you go into stores and stuff. Who gives a fuck, right? You just use it to get yourself a better TV. But what does this dope do? He gets fucking greedy. I don't even remember how the fucking story goes. All I know is he just started hitting every fucking goddamn parking meter around. The next thing you know, he's sitting on like a fucking $2 million in quarters, and he ended up getting busted. But there was a part of it, I liked the guy, you know? So anyways, this gets me to the super rich on how, you know, all of that shit about the Panama Papers and all that type of stuff. I was talking to another friend of mine who's a fucking lawyer, and I was like, how does that work? Like, how do you get your money out of the country? And then once it's out of the country, how do you make sure nobody steals it, like what happened to Johnny Depp's character in Blow? And then once you have it out of the country, how do you get it back in without just getting taxed all over again or busted? And he said, basically, this is it. He broke the whole fucking thing down, all right? Or as far as I know, he broke an aspect of it down. I know all you guys are sitting there right now going, oh, Jesus, he's going to try to explain. I am. I'm going to try to explain some shit that was just explained to me, and I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. So let's get rid of one myth right out of the gate. I remember a long time ago, a friend of mine had a fucking landscaping business, and he already had a truck, and he went out and he bought this giant fucking, you know, one of those things with the dual wheels on the back and this fucking giant bed. Look like you put cattle in it, right? And I was like, holy fuck, man, how much does that thing cost? And, you know, it's like the 80s. It cost like 25 grand, which was a lot of fucking money back then, right? For a truck, you know? It's like 10 grand more than you pay. 25, 30 grand or some shit, right? I was like, holy shit, man, you can afford that? And he was like, yeah, it's a write-off. That's what a lot of dopes say. And it is a write-off. But what they think is that they can write $30,000 off of their taxes, which you can't. What you can do is you can write off, it's a write-off as far as that 30 grand that you just spent on that truck is untaxable. All right? It's sitting in whatever. You made that money. You made 30 grand. If it's just sitting there and you don't put it back into play as far as reinvesting into your business, the government will tax you at the end of the year, you know, on that 30 grand. And let's say you're in like a fucking, 20% tax bracket, that you'd have to give the government fucking 6 grand. Right? That's it. So people, morons think, oh, I get to write 30, in the end of the year, if I owed 40 grand in taxes and I bought a $30,000 truck, I get to take $30,000 off of my taxes. You wouldn't. You'd just be able to knock off 6 grand. Right? You're not even knocking it off. You're just not getting taxed on that. Does that make sense? Probably doesn't, because I explained it. So anyways, when you have your own business, what you're trying to do is you're trying to come up with as many fucking write-offs as you possibly can. Many expenses, everything you possibly can to lower your basic, whatever your income as far as what is going to be taxable. So say you made fucking 100 grand, all right? You grossed 100 grand. The net is what you're left with after your expenses. You try to fucking come up with as many goddamn expenses as you can to get that 100 grand as far down as zero as possible.
Ideally, you wouldn't want to pay any fucking taxes as far as these people look. But the bottom line is, you can only do it so much, and if you write off too much, the IRS is going to show up and be like, what's this fucking, 60 grand for fucking cheeseburgers, blah, 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 you tried to write off, and you're going to get busted. All right? So what these fucking super rich people do is the first thing they do is they get the fucking money out of the country, because the IRS's jurisdiction doesn't go beyond the borders. So what they do is they just create a company that doesn't exist. It's just on paper, right? So say you make $100 million, right? What you do is you go to a country that doesn't give a shit about America and lets you use it as a tax shelter. You just come up with some incorporated thing, like Who Gives a Fuck Inc., right? And then you just have that company bill your company a consulting fee for $100 million or whatever, whatever of the $100 million, 30, 40, 50, whatever you don't want to pay taxes on, whatever. And then you write a check to that company that doesn't exist, that's really you. And then you send it out. So now it's out of the fucking country. And then what they do is they open up like 10 other of these fucking shell companies, and they have those other companies build the first company, and then the third one builds the second one, the fourth one, and it's just gone. The money's fucking gone. Now, the IRS can come in and you'll be like, what the fuck did you pay somebody $100 million consulting fee? And then you're telling me you paid somebody $100 million as a consulting fee? And then you just look at them and go, yes. And evidently there's nothing they can fucking do about it. So then I go, all right, so now it's out of the country, and then it's in this other country. How the fuck do you protect it? And he goes, well, those countries where these tax shelters are, they're in on the scam, so you just kick them 10% of the $100 million. You give them 10. Here's fucking whatever you can negotiate. We'll just make it easy. Here's $10 million. So I'll give you 10 million rather than giving the government fucking 50, 55, 60 million of that 100 million. I'm still fucking up 45 million. All right? So then I was like, all right, so now how do you get the money back? Because if, you bring the money back, you stick it to the bank, they're going to consider that earned income. Like, where the fuck did you get it? And this guy was like, they bring it back into the country in the form of a loan. Loans aren't taxable, right? Like if you get a fucking loan because you're already paying interest on it and everything, they don't tax you. So they just bring it back in the form of a loan, whatever the fuck you want to do. I want to buy a $10 million house. You have this shell company that's 10 times removed from the one that you paid from the consulting fee, right? And they can't follow the paper trail because it's in a different country, right? You just bring it back into the country in the form of a loan, and then you go buy a fucking house. And I guess, I don't know, you pretend to make payments, or the loan is forgiven by this shell company that's still you. I know I just glossed over that, and if anybody has more information on it, I find it absolutely fascinating. There's other ones, they just pretend that that's their main business, that shell company, so they just act like it's doing I don't know. That's as far as I can remember what he told me. And I found that shit absolutely fucking fascinating, because at the end of the fucking day, as far as what they're doing, I know they're fucking over you and me because, the school systems go down the shitter because they don't have enough money. There's a lot of potholes. There's all kinds of stuff. You can't take care of homeless people. You can't build another gleaming structure for a fucking sports team, whatever the fuck it is. At the end of the day, as fucked up as that is, these people who are criminals, they're stealing from other criminals. As far as my conspiracy theory goes, the IRS is just a bunch of fucking crooks anyway. So, it's kind of fascinating watching these two giant, powerful entities fuck with each other. Meanwhile, I'm in the crosshairs, you're in the crosshairs, and we're all paying Elvis taxes. And there goes Hillary Clinton screaming in some Baptist church. Is she talking about that shit? Of course she isn't. Because when you bring the fucking money back in, you just don't bring it in and go out and buy yourself your fucking Ferrari, California. What you do is, you do that, but what you also do is you walk around with nice wad of cash and you go, oh, hey, chief of police. Oh, look at that birdie over there. And as he looks over, you stuff a fucking wad of cash in his pocket, And then, oh, is it an election year? Yeah, let me I'll take $2 million on Trump. Give me 2.5 on Hillary, and fuck it. Give me 500 grand on Bernie Sanders. What do you mean he's not taking any money from guys like me? Oh, is that right? Well, whatever. He won't get in. And if he does, I'll give $3 million to, silence him. That's what the fuck they do. And that's how they I'm convinced of that. I'm convinced as far as like stand-up comedy goes, you know why they're always giving us shit? It's because if stand-up comedians just organized, okay, and we donated to the campaigns of people running to the Democratic and the Republican parties, right? And then we bought a little ad time on CNN and on Fox News and all these major networks. If we did that, you'd never see another comedian getting in trouble for doing a fucking Caitlyn Jenner joke. Anyways, if anybody has any more information on that, or they can talk about it. I don't like if it's really dry. I just like, I'm fascinated with people that do shit like that and then they go to bed knowing what the fuck they're doing. And they got to be thinking at some point, like, the wolf's got to be coming to the door at some point. Hang on one second. I got to answer this. All right, so I'm back. Of course, I completely forget what the fuck where I ended off. But what I really learned when I was, listening to this lawyer telling me all this shit. I know I was saying the balls that takes to go to bed at night, knowing at any point, like, all of a sudden the fucking feds are going to kick in your fucking door. But I think that these guys are like the smarter ones. And when you watch like American Greed, what I noticed when I watched them, all of their fuckery was within the borders of the United States, which you just, I guess if you're too dumb to know, you don't realize you're not going to get away with it forever. But like once after talking to this guy, it just seems like anybody who just tries to have their entire illegal entity within the borders of one country is you're just on borrowed time. So I think when you watch American Greed, what you're really seeing is the hacks of, you always see these fucking idiots. They buy a house, they get all these fucking cars, and they have some strippers come over. Oh, my fucking laptop. Oh, that was a laptop hitting hardwood floors. Come on, baby. Come on, come around. You're all right. Hang in there. Help is on the way. Fuck. Oh, you fucking motherfucker. Steve Jobs is laughing somewhere right now. He's laughing at me because I got to give him money, and he also knows there's going to be another little kid's got to put it together. All right, it's saved. It's saved. So anyways, let's read a little bit of fucking ad shit here before my screen goes dark. Hang on a second. I find that shit, I find all that stuff fucking amazing. It's really, really interesting. If you just remove yourself from it, the humanity of it or whatever, and all the people that it's affecting and kids not getting better school books and shit, if you just look at the fucking game that's going on, it's really fucking interesting. All right, 60 Minutes, everybody. All right, hey, Bill. I saw your tweet about 60 Minutes about the talking robot piece. Yeah, Charlie Rose was sitting there talking to this artificial intelligent robot that really moved bad. Speaking of fucking Westworld, right? And he asked the robot what its goals were. First of all, that a robot would have goals, like a person, okay? And the robot said, my goal is to one day be smarter than human beings. So I tweeted, I basically tweeted, please unplug that fucking thing, all right? So he goes, I come somewhere between unplug it and fuck it. It seems like everyone knows the machines will be our doom, but I feel like everyone involved and even everyone else just looking on has a, but will they take over type of curiosity. My question, I don't know what you meant by all that. My question to you is that if in 10 years the robots are filling in as clerks at stores or working the lobby of hotels, would you be comfortable as a customer in those locations? Also, I highly recommend the new Westworld remake on HBO. Yes. I thought that was Netflix. My fault. HBO. It's totally up your alley, and I'm sure you remember the original with good old Yul Brynner. How funny is that? Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I already talked about it. I loved it. This is what I think. I actually think that that those robots will make human beings obsolete. I know that sounds fucking crazy, but they will. Okay? And they don't have to sleep. They don't have to fucking do anything. They'll outwork us and all that type of shit. And they're going to act like then we finally get to sit around and chill out, right? Like that was the big promise of all of this technology that was going to be coming out in the future. I mean, there's always technology, but the newer technology, the technology of the future. The 3-day work week. They used to make fun of that on the Jetsons. Oh, these 3-day work weeks are brutal. People are working more than they have ever worked in their fucking lives in this race to, I don't even know what the fuck. Why the fuck? Can somebody please tell me what the fuck we need robots for? What do we need any of this shit for? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like somewhere in like the mid-90s, like that was good. We advanced enough with cars, travel. We advanced enough with medicine and that type of shit. I mean, basically from 1995 on, if you're fucking dying, then, I mean, I mean, I don't know, the amount of shit that you could sidestep, tuberculosis, polio, all of these fucking things, all those plagues from back in the day, they were all gone. I mean, something, I don't know, it's hard when it's somebody you know and love, or obviously if it's fucking you, but like, I don't know. I think the population, I've always talked about it. It's a major fucking problem, and I don't know how they go, like, I just feel like those things will come along and they'll just be like, well, you have those things that don't need to, they don't need a flat screen TV. They don't need any of that type of shit. They can do the work of 10 people. Or let's say they can do the work of 4 people. Then there's 3 extra people out there, isn't there? Or there's 4 extra people out there. Let's fucking cut this thing down by 25%. I mean, there's already too many fucking people walking around. You're going to have a bunch of robots walking around too? At some point, something's got to give. All right? And I can guarantee you one thing. Robots are never forming a union. All right? They're not going to. So I think they'll be smart enough to not get them to do that. But the greed of going after the dollar and making one that's just a little bit better, like these fucking iPhones, I think we could get ourselves into a tough situation. And here's the question I have. If you kill a robot in the future, like, is that going to be considered property damage? At what point will that actually be considered murder 1 or murder 2 or robot slaughter? They'll have to have all these new laws. You know what I mean? Like, what if they make them like what they're trying to do? Like, they're probably going to make them fuckable at some point, like that fucking movie I saw like a year ago, you know? What if you go out and you fuck somebody else's robot, you know? Like, hey, that's my robot. You just came in my fucking robot. What the fuck? You know it's self-cleaning and all that shit. I can't fucking do that, right? You're just really opening up a fucking can of worms there.
I went to that TED.com. Just look up robots and try to find the one where this lady is sitting there. She's fucking talking about, you know, having robots around the house. You know what I mean? It's the stupidest thing. Okay, first of all, she's whoring it up for no particular reason in the beginning. I don't know why. She's wearing like these hooker boots. She's sitting there talking about robots to a bunch of egghead nerds, and she's still got to whore it up. It's like, can't you just stand on the merit of the fucking speech that you wrote? Do you really got to get people's dicks half full just so they'll keep listening to you? How fucking insecure are you? You're talking about robots in the house, walking down the hallway. Hey, what's up? Fucking high five and a goddamn robot. That right, and it's not like it's a movie. It's fucking real. That's not compelling enough of a subject. You can't hold the audience's interest. You still have to put on your streetwalker boots. It's weird. She has on streetwalker boots, but she has on a modest skirt. It comes down a little. Or maybe because the boots go up so fucking high. You know what I mean? I mean, isn't that basically the rule? If you're going to wear the fucking thigh-high boots, you basically have to have on a miniskirt. All right? So she starts her speech, right? Not a whore, just dressed like a whore. Like she put on half of her Halloween costume and then, oh, wait a minute, I have to give a speech. So she goes down there and she's just like, she actually sounds, what she's talking about is smart, but she doesn't sound that smart. So I don't know if some nerd wrote the fucking speech for her and got like, I don't know, fucking broke out in like hives right before the speech, so they sent her out instead. But she's just up there being like, you know, when I was a little girl, I remember just seeing Star Wars and seeing C-3PO going, wouldn't that just be awesome to have like a robot? And not to like do Jaws, but just to like kind of talk to and like joke around with. And she starts talking about how she feels that robots should be in the fucking house because she wants her own C-3PO. Am I saying that right? Am I pausing at the wrong time? How come C-3PO? C-3PO. C-3PO. I don't know, whatever. That's such a stupid fucking movie. It was one of the most overrated fucking goddamn motherfucking movies of all time. I would rather watch Muppets Take Manhattan. I think that holds up better because at least there's adult humor in there. You know? You know who totally ripped off, used the Force? Joel Osteen. That fucking squinty-eyed guy. Oh, you want a T-shirt? Jesus, won't you have a T-shirt? Just think about it. It's going to happen. He totally stole that whole vibe. I don't even know if that makes sense. You know, furthermore, I don't care. Plowing ahead. So this lady sitting there talking about these fucking robots. You got to watch the video. And about, I don't know, 10, 11 minutes in, I can't remember where the fuck it is, they cut to somebody shooting the shit with a robot. And it looks like it's basically a head coming out of a giant VCR. And he's like sitting there like, and it'd be like if you had a VCR with a head coming out of it, but like a robot head, like bolts for eyes and shit. but it has like eyelashes for some stupid reason, like blinking, like it needs to blink, right? And he's sitting at it like he's at his desk, like almost face to face with the thing. He's just like, hey, fucking R2-D2, look what my girlfriend bought me. And he showed some sort of fucking, I don't know what the hell, it's some macho chain or a watch. I can't remember what the fuck it was. And then the robot's just like, oh my God, that's really interesting, did she? And it's moving its fucking head. Can I ask, either this might be the dumbest question ever or just painfully obvious, why the fuck would I need that? Why would I need that? Like, why wouldn't I just talk to my friend? You know what I'm saying? It's like the baseball kid from way back in the day. Remember that shit? I talked about it here in the podcast one of these Mondays. They used to have the baseball kid. It's called Baseball Kid, the baseball kid. A baseball is what you want to do. Baseball kid will pitch to you. And it was a cardboard cutout of a friend, basically, that you don't have throwing a fucking baseball to you. You know, it was basically for the kid with no friends. So now they've upgraded it to the person who has no fucking friends. You know what's great is that I bet that guy didn't even have a girlfriend. I bet he bought the watch for himself, and now part of the sickness is he just fucking lies to this robot about this life that he doesn't have. And you know, once you start doing that, it's an inevitability. It's a fucking cirrhosis of the liver that guy's eventually going to stick his fucking human dick in that robot mouth. And the second that fucking happens, that's it. It's the end of the fucking human race. I'll tell you right now, there's scientists out there fucking robots right now. They're out there banging robots, you know, under the whole platform of fucking research. It's real scary. Like, go watch this shit on TED.com. They got another one showing how we're fighting wars now. And like these guys sit in Arizona, they basically go to work, they go to war, and then they come home after fucking blowing up some bad guys, or hopefully bad guys, right? And then they fucking go and they sit down and hang out with their kids, and they're sitting there talking about how, you know, now the bad guys are getting the robots and blah, blah, blah. It's fucking inevitable. All those drones, they're basically eventually, all the shit they're using over there, I think eventually they're going to use over here. You know, in the future, there'll be no more skipping jury duty. The second you skip it, you're going to wake up in the morning, peek out the window, and there's going to be a fucking drone just hovering there. You have 7 minutes to get to court or you will be vaporized. It's going to be one of those fucking things. Is this the least interesting thing you ever heard in your life? I mean, didn't I just basically do every science fiction movie? Has there ever been a science fiction movie where they predict something great? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be original here for once in my fucking life. Let's go the other way. It's going to be a friendly drone. It's going to be outside the window. Go back to sleep. It's okay. We sent your clone to go down to the jury duty. Now we don't need you. So you will be vaporized. You will be vaporized. That's the way to do it. I think that's going to be that's going to be the funeral in 2020. I think by 2020 we're going to know definitely where you go when you die, and if it's anywhere other than here, people are just going to choose to tap out. You know, it's going to be like getting a vasectomy, just getting fucking vaporized. Still an intense fucking procedure that needs a serious talking before you do it. But I'm just getting. I need a change. You know, like when people on the East Coast move to like Minnesota or fucking San Diego, just needed a change. That's what's going to happen. People are just going to get vaporized here in the future. It's fucking true. You know, I know you guys are rolling your eyes right now, but you don't have access to the information that I do. Okay, so please reserve your judgment, or whatever. Temper your judgment. Don't be hasty with your judgment. Whatever that fucking expression is. Russian guy outwits banks. Oh, I like this one already. Hey, Bill, thought you might enjoy reading this article about a Russian man who outwitted a bank by writing his own terms into their credit card contract. Jesus Christ, that's fucking phenomenal. How the hell did... That's like beating Bruce Lee at karate or kung fu or Jing Feng Ku, whatever the fuck he did. Article, here we go. The idea of beating the banks at their own game may seem like a rich joke, but Dmitry Agarkov, I don't know, 42-year-old Russian man. Sounds like he plays for the Red Wings, doesn't he? 42-year-old Russian man may have managed to do it. Unhappy with the terms of an unsolicited credit card offer he received from an online bank, Tinkoff credit system, Agarkov, sorry if you're listening,
I'm butchering this, or if you're of Russian descent. He scanned the document, wrote in his own terms, and sent it through. The bank approved the contract without reading the amended fine print, unwittingly agreeing to a 0% interest rate, unlimited credit, and no fees, as well as a stipulation that the bank pay steep fines for changing or canceling the contract. The bank has so much money they'll be able to get around this. But that's fucking genius. What a hero. Agarkov used the card for 2 years, but the bank ultimately canceled it and sued Agarkov for $1,363. The bank said he owed them charges, interest, and late payment fees. A court ruled that because of the no fee, no interest stipulation Agarkov had written in, he owed only his unpaid $575 balance. Look at this. 2 minutes left in the game, people. Is he going to win this or what? Agarkov is now suing the bank for $727,000 for not honoring the contract's term, and the bank is hollering fraud. They signed the documents without looking. They said they said to me what usually their borrowers say in court. We've not read it. Agarkov's lawyer said, the shoe's on the other foot now. Sorry, I really butchered the ending of that reading. So, well, I got to pay attention to that. Well, they'll settle out of court. I don't know, man. That's a hard. I mean, the fact that you just got out of paying the fees. I got to put this in my computer here. I want to pay attention to that. Agarkov, Russian bank case. Okay, so it's still at that point. Hey, anybody in Russia listen to this thing? Can you please keep me abreast of this? I want to see if he gets any of that $727,000. All right? I'm going to do a little pregame analysis here. I'll tell you right now, I got to tell you, if I'm the bank, I got to be thinking, how did we end up in this situation? I would actually guess that they're not going to pay any of that. They probably got enough politicians and judges in their pockets. I mean, it's corrupt enough over here. I can't imagine what the fuck it's like over there. No offense, but it is what it is. Yeah, if anybody, I don't know, in Estonia, Latvia, if you're close enough, you can pay attention. Let me know. I'd appreciate it. Lithuania, the Ukraine, Belarus. Look at me. Huh? I've learned some shit.
All right, I don't know if you guys know this, but I guess they're working on cars that are going to drive themselves in the future. I don't know why. I mean, how fucking lazy are people going to get? I mean, it's going to be great for drinking and driving. You'll just be drinking and riding. You know, all of a sudden you'll always have that fucking thing, right? I don't like this, man. I don't like how everything's becoming fucking automated. You know, I feel like rich people are gradually phasing us out. You know? Because you know goddamn well the only reason why they allow us to exist is because they need us to farm, right? They need us to deliver shit. They need us to do a bunch of shit. I could have another example. I don't know, dance around like a monkey at a fucking casino. Come downstairs and say a couple of words at your little fucking Illuminati party in the basement. They need us to do that. But once everything is automated and it just handles its fucking self, do you think you could be a part of that group? What if you were part of a group that was just going to slowly fucking just phase everybody else out, you know? And somehow it would happen in your lifetime. All right? Like, who would you keep? These are very Hitler-esque type questions, but this is the type of fucking madness that I think everybody's capable of, you know, especially, I don't know, if you travel on the road, some of the dopes you fucking meet out there, watching people getting stirred up, you know. In all honesty, I can't stand, like, the choices that we have for president right now, you know, as it starts to go towards, as a fucking torpedo, that fucking St. Bernard-looking guy, Bernie Sanders, right, his jowls, as they torpedo his fucking campaign. And all Democrats are walking around, he can't win, he can't win. I love that. I love it. Yeah, because you're too much of a pussy to fucking vote for him. That's why, right? So you're going to vote for this clammy fucking crook or this guy who isn't saying anything. But, like, I really believe that, you know, you could talk people into fucking wiping out everybody on the planet. He's very easily. Just listening to Donald Trump, his speeches where he just says absolutely nothing. You know, he said today he was talking to college graduates and he's literally going like, I'm going to bring jobs back to the United States. You wait. There's going to be more jobs here by the time I'm done. It's going to make your head spin. I'm going to have Apple bring manufacturing jobs back from China to here. Okay? And people clapped. He never has to say how he's going to do all. I'm going to plug up the hole in the ozone layer. Water's going to be clear. I'm going to get rid of all terrorism, and that's going to be the first week. Woo! I like this guy. This guy makes sense. He's making it great again. You know, and then you got Hillary. She just talks through her fucking teeth. It's like, you know, she looks like she should be doing like a ventriloquist act, but the puppet isn't there. I just can't fucking. I don't know. I don't fucking know. No idea. And I don't even know who the other guys are. I just heard a couple of them talking, trying to trash Donald Trump, and they sounded pathetic. Just not good speakers. This is a bad one. This is a bad one. You know, like I bet people watching, you know, if you got a great college program and a bunch of seniors fucking graduate, and you just go through a bad 4-year period. I think that's what we're coming through. We're coming out of right now. You know, like this one guy who was saying he was going to get rid of Obamacare if he was elected, and people like applauding. Like I don't fucking get it. I don't get why. I don't have Obamacare. I guess my tax dollars pay for it, but I don't have any problem with somebody like. I don't want my fellow countrymen walking around with a fucking toothache. You need your spleen removed. Fuck you. Figure it out for yourself. Why don't we help each other out a little more, you know? Why can't we do that? And if elected, anybody needs their spleen out? Donald Trump, I bet I could run. I could run for president if that's all you got to do is just say you're going to do all this awesome shit. You never fucking do it. Everyone will have health care and it will be free. All right. Oh, this weekend, by the way. Oh, the self-driving cars. Let's get back to that fucking thing. So evidently some self-driving car hit a bus, which is fucking tremendous for anybody who loves driving. That is such a tremendous fucking thing that happened today or yesterday or maybe last year. All I know is I just found the fucking story. I'm so fucking psyched. The self-driving car hit the fucking bus. I mean, even though it was only going like 2 miles an hour, it's just so fucking great because it hit a bus. So all you got to say is just, you know, just be like, well, what if there was a bunch of kids on that bus, right? And then that'll delay it a good 20 fucking years. Let me see if I can find this story. Self-driving. Google says it bears some responsibility after self-driving car hits bus. Can you fucking believe that? Well, was there a person driving the bus? I would say that you have all the fucking responsibility unless this guy literally drove into the fucking thing. Alphabet Incorporated, Google said on Monday, it bears some responsibility after one of its self-driving cars struck a municipal bus in a minor crash earlier this month. The crash may be the first case of one of its autonomous cars hitting another vehicle and the fault of the self-driving car. Dude, this is going to be a shit show. This is just one, and it already hit a fucking bus. You know what I mean? That's lunacy. It's fucking lunacy, man. I will tell you, I think it will cause people to drink like they've never drank before. Most nights I don't drink out here because I drive myself places. I don't fucking Uber. Well, that'll put Uber out of business, right? Well, I guess if you don't have a fucking car. I don't know. Don't you guys like driving? I hope you have like the option. My thing is, how is the insurance going to work? Because you know goddamn well there's no way the insurance company is going to take that fucking liability on. And they're claiming they're going to get rid of, there'll be no more deaths from car accidents. There's going to be no more accidents. It's going to be like just accident free. And this is amazing to me that it's gotten this fucking far, considering, that like the amount of times they tried to kill the electric car. Right? And, big oil companies, that type of thing. You're fucking with their blue blood money. You're not having that. Let's go electrocute an elephant to show how fucking dangerous these cars are, right? So, this is the only thing I can think. These insurance companies, they're making enough money to go down there and whack somebody at ABC Incorporated, right? They fucking do shit like that. You go to a diner and all of a sudden you stagger out going, they poisoned me, and you do a face plant, then your invention disappears. Oh, I'm going down the rabbit hole. This is why I think they're letting this one go through. Because they're eventually going to get rid of all of us. And when they do that, they're going to have no more limo drivers. So they're like, well, what are we going to do in the future if we want to ride somewhere? I'm not going to drive my car and soil my wealthy hands, am I? And then somebody's like, well, what if we just we'll just make the cars drive themselves? Oh, okay. Okay. Kill them all then. Yes, thank you. poison them, remove them from the planet. I wonder if they got rid of everybody, how long it would take for this, to go back to normal. You have to take all the nuclear waste, right? Just send it out, out into fucking space, right? Send it towards Mars. Just make sure you don't hit the moon. And all you do is just fucking chill out in your little house. I wonder how long it would take to undo all this shit that people leave behind. The fuck are you going to do with all of that? That's all going to go into the soil. That'd take a little, it wouldn't happen in your lifetime. Jesus Christ, I am all over the place, man. What the fuck am I talking about here? Murdering people and self-driving cars. You should see this fucking car, by the way. This fucking self-driving car makes the Volkswagen Beetle look like a goddamn Lamborghini. People on The Simpsons drive a better-looking car than that fucking thing. Ugh, they're all going to be the exact same fucking one, right? You'll have your options of, 3 different colors. Like white, black, or beige. Oh, man, this is not uplifting. Let's talk about these new Hillary Clinton fucking commercials, which, of course, and the Trump ones, none of them talk about any sort of issue. They're just sort of talking about each other, about what assholes they are, It's like 2 7th-grade girls just fucking starting rumors about each other. They're not talking about the nationwide heroin epidemic. They're not talking about fucking the pharmaceutical companies trying to fucking make weed not legal at a state level again because all the states where it's fucking legal. The prescriptions are all down. They're losing money, so they're going to try to demonize it again, according to the person that I can't even remember who the fuck it is that told me that, and then I never read it to see if it's true, but now I'm telling it to you. They're not talking about any of that shit. Great Barrier Reef is dead. Who gives a fuck, right? All right, let's trash the Hillary one first. All right, the Hillary one about fucking Donald Trump is they're trying to go, your kids are watching this. What kind of president are they going to see? Okay, which I get, all right? There's kids that are into politics. But they show 6-year-olds, riveted to a fucking... to a fucking adult running for office. Did you remember when you were 6 years old? Remember I don't even know what kids see nowadays. When I was a kid, remember when your parents put on the fucking news? Remember that feeling in your stomach? It was like they were making you eat spinach. You're like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. This is boring. Anytime there were adults on TV with suits talking, it was over. I wanted nothing to do with it. I want cartoons. I like sports, the Bionic Man. What else did they have back then? Little House on the Prairie I liked for a little while. Then it got all gross when fucking they brought that kid in who did he go deaf or did he go black? I can't remember what the fuck the Adam kid or some shit. He started fucking the one with the pigtails. It just got gross, man. I don't know. I used to like watching the cowboy shit. I like that stuff. But anything that was remotely nightly news, politics. I vaguely remember Richard Nixon crying on the radio when I was riding in the car with my mother, and she was trying to explain to me what was happening. And I was like, oh, okay. And I never thought, wow, this guy lied to the nation. This is a president crying on the radio. I had no concept of any of that. I was just like, all right, can I get out of the car right now? Because it's sunny out. We've been driving for a while, and I think I'm going to throw up. That's all I was thinking, because I was a fucking kid. Okay, people? Here's the deal. I mean, how fucking awful are you that you got to start talking about kids? Kids are watching this guy. And then the Hillary one, I don't even know what the fuck it was. It looked like a fucking Pink Floyd video. I was cooking and I turned around. I had the game on, the one that Trump made about Hillary, which I want to say it was somebody dressed up like Hillary, holding a pickaxe or something. I didn't even know. I never took a hallucinogen, but that commercial made me be like, this would have been a great time to have done some acid, to just watch that and and if he somehow made it feature length, that would have been fucking awesome. But anyways, I believe the election is this week. I want to say it's Wednesday, or is it Tuesday? Maybe it's fucking Tuesday. I have no idea. I know Wednesday the 9th I'm going to be on Conan O'Brien, and there will be a new president. Is it going to be the first lady? Which means Bill Clinton will be the first... what the fuck would he be? What would he be called? The first husband? The first husband? I knew I'd be groundbreaking. Jesus Christ, can you imagine if that fucking cigar fucking sticking lunatic is back in there and now he doesn't even have a fucking job? Jesus Christ. Hillary, the first day, is going to be like, get all these broads the fuck out of here. I'm president. Get them. Anything with a twat, get it the fuck off Pennsylvania Avenue. That's it. They're literally they're gonna have to fucking wheel Bill around like Hannibal Lecter on like one of those two-wheelers. You know what I mean? With the little fucking muzzle on him. Jesus, that animal might be coming back. I think he's gonna. I think Trump fucked up. He just said too much crazy shit, and he made the Clintons look sane. And he's got no one to blame but himself. That's my prediction, all right? If I was a betting man and I was going to Vegas, unbelievable, right? And Bernie Sanders is like that school that should have been allowed into the playoff and didn't fucking get in, right? Because all these fucking cunts were too afraid to vote for him because there's no way you can win. I saw somebody the other day on TV. They did this whole they go, all right, well, Hillary you got to make a smart decision either because it's really hard. This decision is really hard because Hillary had a bunch of felonies and Trump, and then they listed like all the shit that Trump did for like a minute. This is like a TV show. I was just so fucking irresponsible, I feel. You know what I mean? He's supposed to try to be like impartial, right? I hope I'm being impartial. I don't fucking like either one of them. I just don't know how you trash one guy for fucking 90 goddamn seconds and then and all you say about the other person is just their felonies. Why don't you just talk about the felonies that were brought up? That the charges of those things. You could talk about that for fucking 19 hours. Oh no, she has a blue bra, so therefore she must be a saint. All right, I'm off my fucking soapbox here. Good luck to you guys. I really mean that. Good luck to you, man. I hope somehow we come out of this. We somehow pick the fucking lesser of two fucking evils, whatever that is. And I hope everybody reads and rereads all the propositions and all the shit that's attached to them. I plan on fucking doing that for the first time ever. I'm actually going to be an informed fucking voter when it comes to that shit because I don't think there's any winning at the presidential level. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyways, whoever wins, it's going to be a rough 4 years of speeches before the next one. I mean, neither one of them are a good public speaker. Holy shit. I mean, Trump just goes out there and wings it. Like when Trump gives a speech, he sounds like he's waiting for the headliner. He's like stretching, waiting for the headliner to show up. Keeps looking at the back of the room and they're still making that stretch. See, he's not here yet. They said he's on his way. Do another 10. And then Hillary with that whole bobblehead fucking thing that she does. Like I haven't seen anybody so outside their own fucking body since Al Gore. Remember Al Gore when he was fucking, I'll never forget, he was doing a debate with George Bush. And George Bush makes a point, and then for whatever reason, Al Gore stood up, walked all the way over to George Bush, and just goes, my turn, in his ear, and Bush does like a double take, like, dude, what the fuck? Sort of a natural reaction to this guy coming out of, I mean, he could literally feel his fucking breath in his ear. He fucking did this double take looking at him, and the whole crowd laughed at Al Gore, and then Al Gore just threw his head back, and for whatever reason started laughing, just goes, ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, what are you laughing at? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he was, that guy. You know what, that guy read about his critics too much. Like, the first time they were like, he wasn't animated enough. And the next time he went out there, he's doing, like, this Fosse shit. Oh, Jesus. He redefined fucking flop sweat, that guy. All right, let's get out of politics. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking anyways. Good luck with the voting, everybody. May the best piece of shit win.